King Charles to be the first reigning English monarch in 500 years to pray publicly with the Pope. Welcome back, royal watchers, to Crown Chronicles, the home of royal revelations, palace secrets, and everything majestic. If you love staying ahead of the world's most fascinating royal stories, then hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and join our ever-growing royal family. Because today's headline is nothing short of historic, King Charles III is about to become the first reigning English monarch in over 500 years to publicly pray with the Pope. Yes, you heard that correctly. For half a millennium, English monarchs and the Vatican have shared a relationship built on diplomacy, tradition, and at times, deep-seated tension. But now, King Charles is preparing to take a step no sovereign has dared since the era of King Henry VIII, so what does this mean? Why is this moment so groundbreaking? And how might this decision reshape not just royal history, but global religious relations? Stay tuned, because this story goes far deeper than a ceremonial meeting. It's about healing centuries-old wounds and redefining monarchy in the modern world. Let's rewind time, back to the 1500s, when King Henry VIII broke from the Roman Catholic Church, declaring himself the supreme head of the Church of England. That single act didn't just fracture religious unity in Europe, it created a division that echoed across generations. Since then, no reigning British monarch has ever officially prayed alongside a pope in public, even when royals visited the Vatican, like Queen Elizabeth II, who met 5 popes during her lifetime. Their gatherings were strictly diplomatic. Warm smiles, polished protocol, respectful exchanges. But no shared prayer. That line was never crossed, until now. King Charles III, known for his lifelong interest in interfaith cooperation, is preparing to step into that sacred space, and shatter half a millennium of precedent. Sources close to the palace say the king will participate in joint prayer during his upcoming visit to the Vatican, standing side by side with Pope Francis in what could become one of the defining images of his reign. But here's the question on everyone's mind: why now? And why him? Unlike many of his predecessors, Charles has always seen faith not as a dividing line, but as a bridge. While he remains the official head of the Church of England, Charles has repeatedly emphasized that he views himself not just as defender of the faith, but as defender of faiths. In his own words, he believes his duty is to protect the practice of all religions within his realm. From Christianity to Islam, Hinduism to Judaism, Charles wants to be remembered as the monarch who brought unity, not division, and yet, with such a bold step comes risk. Some critics argue that praying with the Pope could be seen as blurring the lines of Anglican tradition. After all, the sovereign is not only a ceremonial figure, he is the spiritual head of the Church of England. Will traditionalists accuse him of crossing into forbidden territory? Or will they hail it as a sign of royal maturity? Make no mistake, this isn't just a religious act. It's a global statement. When the king bows his head beside the Pope, cameras will roll. Millions will watch. And the world will ask, has the monarchy finally evolved beyond centuries of division? Let's talk symbolism. Imagine the scene: St. Peter's Basilica, bathed in golden light, the Pope in white, the king in ceremonial attire. 2 leaders, descended from institutions once at war, standing shoulder to shoulder in prayer. It could become one of the most iconic moments of the 21st century, rivaling Queen Elizabeth's historic visit to Ireland, or her handshake with former IRA Commander Martin McGuinness, because sometimes, one gesture speaks louder than an entire speech. But here's another twist: this moment doesn't just impact the UK. It could ripple across Commonwealth nations, many of which are deeply divided along religious lines. For countries like Nigeria, India, Canada, and South Africa, where Christianity, Islam, and other faiths coexist, seeing a monarch embrace unity could send a powerful message. Even beyond religion, this could redefine Charles's image on the world stage. Let's be honest, his reign began under unusual pressure. The passing of Queen Elizabeth II left enormous shoes to fill. Public scrutiny intensified. His popularity was, and still is, constantly measured, but with one carefully choreographed moment, Charles could reshape his legacy, not as the monarch who merely inherited the crown, but as the one who revived its purpose. And here's something interesting: royal insiders suggest that this historic meeting with the Pope may also include private discussions about global issues, such as climate change and humanitarian work, two causes that both Charles and Pope Francis passionately advocate for. Could this become more than a prayer? Could it turn into a spiritual and diplomatic alliance? Time will tell, but royal historians are already buzzing. Some compare this upcoming moment to Queen Elizabeth's coronation oath, when she swore to uphold Protestant traditions, yet spent decades quietly building bridges with Catholic leaders. Others say Charles is going further than any monarch before him, not through speeches, but through symbolic action. And let's be real, even those who don't follow royal news closely will feel the impact of this one, because unity, whether religious, cultural, or political, is something the world is desperate for right now, and if two of the most influential figures on earth can stand together in faith, perhaps others will follow. So, what do you think? Is King Charles making a bold and noble move toward peace? Or is he stepping into dangerous territory by breaking centuries of tradition? Will this act heal old wounds, or stir up controversy? Let me know in the comments below. I want to hear your thoughts, and if you love being the first to hear royal updates like this, make sure you're subscribed to Crown Chronicles, where history meets headline, because trust me, this is just the beginning of King Charles's global mission, and here at Crown Chronicles, we'll be watching every royal step. Thanks for watching, and as always, long live curiosity. And long live the crown.